Hi, everybody. Welcome in. Welcome in. It is a wonderful Valentine's Day. So happy Valentine's Day to everyone. Let me turn off this extra camera for the moment. We don't need it there. So, if you are new to my channel, I'm glad you're here. My name is Tammy. I'm the Siberian Wind, and I love to teach quilting and other quilty related things. So, in the spirit of that, this is a free project. That doesn't mean that you can't get help though. So if you have any questions after today's live, or you want to go ahead and get my email address, just type !email into the chat, and my trusty automated friend Nightbot will drop my email into the chat for you so that you can send me an email with any questions you might have. Now, today's video does have accompanying, if I'm saying that correctly, it does have accompanying download sheets. So that download sheet gives you an overview of what we're doing. But especially if you downloaded the download sheet a little early, because it's been up for about an hour and a half now, if you've already got that download sheet, just remember, I always do those as a guideline to go along with my videos. I never do them as standalone. All of my free download sheets are designed to go with a video. They're not designed to be standalone. Now, my paid for patterns, those are standalone. They're written to be standalone. You don't have to have a video to go along with them. But all of the free projects that I do, you need that download sheet and the video together. Okay, it is a package deal. So let me say hi to everybody in the chat real quick, and then we're gonna get started because I haven't pre-done any sewing like I thought I would, but you know what? This is a beginner-friendly project. We're going to keep it that way. So I'm going to walk you guys through everything. I've gotten a little bit of my fabric cut, but not a lot, just enough to show you guys where we're at. So I see I've got Chloe and Janet and Susie. Welcome in, you ladies. Susan is here. Pat's here. Disorganized Mind. Oh, you're Julia. Okay. Welcome in, Julia. And Julia's husband is here as well. Welcome in, Carlos. Glad you are here. Raven is here and Mary is here. Glad you guys are here. Glad you guys are here. So what we're doing in this project, in this free project, and again, the download sheet is in the description box of this video and of the video on the 21st. What we're going to be doing in this project is we are going to be making a full-sized quilt. So it's a little bit bigger than a twin. My download sheet is over there. Hey, Terry. Hey, Laura. Welcome in. So my download sheets are over there. I'm actually going to have to get up and move over there to do the cutting. So I will be swapping cameras back and forth as I need to do all of that. So if my sound changes too much and you guys can't hear me, let me know you can't hear me, okay? And part of the time when I'm cutting, I'm going to have to be turning around to see my computer screen to see the chat. So just be a little bit patient with me today. It's not my normal setup. Normally I can do everything where I can still see the computer. Today is the exception to that. Terry thought she was watching a premiere. How is she saying hi to you? I love you, Terry. That makes my morning. That absolutely makes my morning. I needed that. Thank you. Oh, no, I didn't dox him. I didn't say anything about where you guys live. Nothing else, I promise. I always ask people what their first name is, so everybody gets their first name, and that's it. Or whatever name you want to go by. So if he wants to go by however that screen name is pronounced, I will be happy to try to learn it. But I promise there's a lot of love in this community. So in this community, you won't find any of the negativity. Not on my channel, you won't. So we love all our people and our quilting husbands and our helping husbands and our helping wives and however that works. Yeah, we love them all. We love them all. Okay, so this is a free project. To make that full-size quilt, you will need 25 fat quarters. Now, fat quarter, if you are new to the quilting community, is a cut of fabric that is 18 inches wide by about 22 inches long. Hey, Sylvia, welcome in. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I know, Susan. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're here. Thank you. So if you are cutting your own fat quarters from your fabric, what you will do is you will cut your fabric a half of a yard, which is 18 by 44 or 45, depending on how wide your fabric is. And then you will cut that piece in half along against that 45-inch side. So you'll have two pieces that are 18 by approximately 22 inches. If you have starched your fabric or pre-washed your fabric after it was cut, your pieces may be a little bit smaller. As long as you will be able to cut 17 inches by 20 inches, you will still be fine. It will still work. Hi, Leslie. Welcome in. Glad you are here. All right. So I'm going to go ahead. That's good. Not as bad. That is good, Susan. I'm glad to hear that. Glad to hear that. And guys, there is a pinned message up at the top, and it tells you if you want to sign up for the free virtual retreat I have coming up. Do exclamation retreat in the chat, or it says type retreat, exclamation retreat. Just type that in the chat, and Nightbot will send you a link, or it'll put a link in the chat that you click through and you go sign up. That is going to be February 28th through March 1st. So especially if you are still getting used to quilting, this is new for you, or you're new to my channel, it's a great chance to be able to connect with me off of the formal YouTube screen. I am still the same person. Everybody who's been to a retreat with me can tell you I am still absolutely the same person on retreat that I am off of retreat. But you will get to hang out with me a lot more, ask me more detailed questions, ask for help, and there's other quilters who will be there as well. So it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. All right. Hey, Raven, welcome in. If I didn't say hi to you before, welcome. Glad you're here. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and swap over cameras. We're going to go ahead and get into the cutting. So I'm going to show you what I've got cut, and then we're going to cut some more. So you're going to see a lot of examples, and I'm going to explain to you why I have things set up the way that I do today, which is way different than I normally have things set up. So I'm going to show you all of that. So, all right, so on the cutting table, I have 9 pieces. This is a stack of fat quarters that I've cut. Now, I feel confident cutting up to 5 layers. I can probably cut more than that, but I wasn't going to for this project. If you are new to quilting, new to cutting, I recommend cutting 1 fat quarter at a time, just because if your ruler slips, then you haven't wasted a lot of fabric. You've only wasted 1 piece of fabric if it can't be salvaged. So there's a lot to this. So this is the fat quarters as it was cut, and I just kept it on the table. So you will end up with 9 separate pieces from each fat quarter. So, you can see here, well, I've got a couple of duplicate fat quarters, but you can see here that I've got all of these fat quarters all stacked up nice and neat. And we are going to label them as we go, or well, once we take them off the cutting table. So for future reference, this is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Hi, Gladys, welcome in. Glad you're here. Glad you're here. So I'm going to go ahead and move these off the table. And I have stacks that you can't see that have my numbers on them. So I am just going to move them in order so I don't mess anything up. Because even having quilted for over 20 years at this point, I still mess things up. So don't ever think that you're messing something up just because you're a beginner. You're messing something up because you're human, okay? That is exactly what it comes down to. We all mess things up. We all have seam rippers because they're our very bestest friends in Sean's words, and Laura Lynn has her own little song with it. So yeah, there's a lot of it. Oh, Julia hit a commercial. She says, I hate commercials. I know. But the nice thing is the commercials don't take you out of the actual stream. It just pauses the stream for you. So you're just going to be a little bit behind, but everybody's going to hit it. So you're not losing anything. The only people who don't are those who have YouTube Premium. Oh, everybody's waving. I love it. Y'all are awesome, guys. Y'all are awesome. All right, so let me move my stuff out, a couple of my things out of the way. I need to move my list out of the way. Hi, Jackie. Welcome in. All right, so you're going to see me using 2 different ruler brands today. That is not normal. I do not normally use 2 different ruler brands. I always recommend that you stick with 1 ruler brand. I could pull out another Nifty Notions ruler for this one because this one is a Nifty Notions ruler. You can't still get these. These are very old rulers. But I recommend you stay with the same brand. But I do not yet have a Creative Grids in the size that I need for this project. So this is a 12.5-inch square ruler. You're going to see me use it for doing the secondary cuts that we're going to do. I'm not going to use it for the first cuts because I need a larger ruler. You do need a ruler that is at least 20 inches long. You're probably going to find one. This one is 24 inches long and it is 7 inches wide. You will need one at least 7 inches wide, okay? Because our largest cut is 7 inches. Now I'll show you some tips and tricks as we go in case your ruler is not this big. As far as like how wide it is, there are workarounds. So I will show you all of that. Hi, Giovanna. Good to see you. Good to see you. All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and pull 4 of my fat quarters, and that's just because that is what I am comfortable with cutting. Okay. You can pull fewer, you can pull more, whatever you need. I hear you. Carlos says YouTube Premium is a great service, but can be fairly pricey. Gotta save that money for the fabric. I hear you. I hear you. We are all in it to save for the fabric. Believe you me. Believe you me. Now, because I don't normally have a lot of yellow fat quarters, almost all of the yellow that I have for this project, I think all but 1 fat quarter of yellow that I have for this project, I had to go purchase. So you'll see that my purchased fabric is a little bit larger than a traditional fat quarter because the ladies at Hobby Lobby really, really like me. And it is incredibly yellow. So yeah, you guys never see me work with that. Hi, Jess, welcome in. Welcome, welcome. All right. So the first thing that we're going to do with our fat quarters, especially if you are cutting multiple at a time, I want you to line up your selvage edges. So your selvage edges will typically have like a white band, or they'll have just a section that has printing on it. The opposite end of the fabric may not have that, but it may have like a fuzzy little like fringe to it. You want to line all of that up together, okay? So you just want those to be as connected together as you can make them. And for this, we are going to use a line on our mat. So I'm going to use my 31-inch line right here. And I'm going to make sure that all of my selvage pieces that I don't want to go into my quilt is, yes, I actually bought yellow, Susan. You want to make sure that you're going to cut off all of that selvage. This project is not for me. It is going to my great niece. And she specifically said yellow and purple. So that is what we are doing, no matter how much this yellow is troubling me. So no matter how much. All right, so because I'm using a line on my mat to line up the selvage and line up where I want to cut, I can then use the line on the mat to put some marking of my ruler up against the markings on the mat. So I'm going to use the 1-inch marking on my 32-inch line, and I'm going to be cutting on the 31-inch line. So we want to get these selvages gone. So that is going to be your first cut, okay? And I'm going to leave it up here just so I can reiterate things later. But you do want to have that cut off because we do not want that going into the quilt. Giovanna says she loves both yellow and purple. And Jess was shocked as well. I know, you guys. When do I ever have yellow? Do I even have, yeah, I have no, 2 fat quarters in here that were from my stash that were yellow enough to qualify. So all of the rest of it is something I had to purchase. Your fabric should have selvage. Julie's asking the question, what if her fabric doesn't have selvage? It should have selvage. So when it is on the bolt, it is going to have a little bit of something. It's going to be a little bit different than the rest of the fabric. So look at the back side of your fabric. Let me pull the back side of these. Because like this one that has the fringe on it right here and doesn't have the print, it doesn't look like it has that much of a selvage until you hold it up to the light, and you can kind of see this little band right here. That's what you're trying to cut off. If it's a pre-purchased fat quarter, it may be a little bit harder to find, but there should be a selvage edge. It doesn't have any. All four sides are the same. Okay. So what you will do then, if you do not have selvage, because it might have been cut from a 108 maybe. Yeah, not everything has fringe either. Yeah, that's what I was about to say, Jess. So what you're going to do is you're going to decide whichever edge you want to use as your square up edge. You are looking for one of the 17, 18-inch sides, okay? So this side from here to here, for me, because it was cut from the yardage, is actually 19 inches because they were very generous for me. But you're looking for the shorter of the sides. So line up one of the shorter sides, and you just want to trim off just enough to have everything completely square. So that's going to be your first step, is just getting one edge that is 100% square. I'm going to grab my drink real quick too. This room gets really dry and dusty. It gets really dry and dusty. Yeah. Some of the wovens I've seen have not had selvage either. So I'm not too surprised, but it's not very common to have fabric without selvage. Thank you, Liz. I appreciate it. She says, hello, everyone. Happy Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day to you, too. I had my nail polish changed just in time, too. Isn't it amazing? I got it just in time. And I wore red. I wash out against the yellow, but that's okay. All right. So now that we have one trimmed up edge, and I have to move my mat because I have a shelving unit that's right here, okay? So what you're going to do is you're going to make sure of where about the fat quarters cut in the furthest. So for me, it's just outside of this line right here. So I'm going to trim this entire side so that it is level all the way from top to bottom. And I am going to use the marks on my mat just to give me some kind of something to go against. Because if you see, I've got a lot of fabric down here. I've got just over 1/2 of an inch. And then I have just under 1/2 of an inch, but like right through here, I'm like at 3/8 of an inch. And here I'm over 1/2 of an inch on some of them. So we're wanting to trim up that side. So we're going to have this side trimmed and this side trimmed. Yes, right? Janet, I love you, sweetie. I love you. She says 207 days left till September 9th. I love it. But who is counting, all right? I am. You know I am. Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you. All right, so we've got this edge here trimmed, and so I'm going to trim this edge. So the way that I have my mat and my table set up today is so that I can be on both this side over here, and then I can be over this side here. Hey, Jessica Lee, welcome in. She's often able to catch me live. She is. I love it. Thank you so much. You guys are amazing, coming in and hanging out with me today. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And everybody who joined me from Becca's last night, guys, I was absolutely in shock. Y'all really just, that was like an amazing Valentine's Day gift. I did not expect it. I didn't know it was coming, and it was absolutely amazing. So thank you. Thank you. All right, so this you won't need either. So you won't need your selvage or your trim up here, and you will not need your trim up here. But I'm gonna leave them on the table just so you guys can see the full finished cut once we get done. Now, the next 2 cuts that we're gonna do, actually the next 3 cuts we're gonna do the same direction, okay? So we're not coming around to this side of the table. We're gonna stay on this side of the table, okay? Now, if you're left-handed, just reverse it. Don't try to do my same direction because I am right-handed when I am cutting because I don't have a left-handed cutter. You will want to go to whatever side of the table is the most comfortable for you. I do recommend having 2 corners that you can access for this project, just because it's going to make things easier. Doesn't matter which side of the fabric your ruler is on, the outside or the inside, as long as you're on your dominant side of the ruler. Not technically, it doesn't. That's a great question. So what is going to make the biggest difference when you're cutting smaller pieces or a lot of bulk, or you're doing lots and lots and lots of cutting, is when you are holding your ruler down, you are protecting whatever fabric is still under your ruler. And this is the fabric you haven't cut yet. And if it gets a little wonky, you can typically square it up a little bit if you need to. So I recommend trying to go that direction. That way it's going to be a little bit easier for you. Some people find that it's easier to do things the opposite way and have the ruler on the bulk of the fabric that you're going to be cutting into next. And sometimes I cut that way, sometimes I cut this way. So it really just depends on your comfort level, and you'll find that as you do more cutting. Now, with a ruler this large, they do make things out there in the market. And let me actually see, I don't know if I've got it handy, but let me see if I do, and I will show you what you might be able to get and help you with keeping your ruler steady. The other option is if you don't have a spare set of hands, which I think you do today, Julia, but if you don't have a spare set of hands, you could, yep, I got it. This is another option that I'm about to show you. This is a bath handle bar, okay? This is typically what they sell at like Harbor Freight that you can attach to your bathroom wall to help you get in and out of the tub. You have to put it to a flat surface. So it's got 2 suction cups. You're fine, Jessica. She says it's supposed to say hello, hello. And I didn't catch that it didn't. You are hilarious. That's funny. I love it. So I can just drop this ruler or this handle down onto my ruler, and I want to make sure that I can see the markings that I'm going to need. So that's going to be absolutely, Pat. He says he's got to go get something. He's got something he needs to go do. He'll catch the rest of the live later. Awesome, awesome. Thank you. So you want to make sure that you can see the markings you need. So that's one of the problems that I tend to have with devices like this, is sometimes they're in my way more than they help me. But for this, all of my cuts that I'm going to be doing with this ruler are fairly large. So I will go ahead and use it so you guys see that. But it allows me to hold the ruler pretty firm so that it's not moving all over the place. Giovanna says she uses one of these on her window to close it from outside. I love that. That's a great idea, Giovanna. I love that. All right, so on your cutting sheet, or on your follow along sheet, this is step 4. So if you've already printed it out or you're looking at it, or you just want to make a note, this is step 4. We're going to cut a 5-inch strip. So I'm using my ruler and I'm looking at the 5-inch marking, and I'm making sure that that is lining up with the edge of my fabric. And I do really like this brand of ruler. I just wish they were still available and they had more grippy strength to them, because you can really see in between the grooves. And with Creative Grids, the line is solid the whole way, and same thing with Quilter Select. It's solid the whole way. So we're gonna go ahead and cut that 5-inch strip, and I'm going to move my ruler out of the way for the moment, and I'm going to slightly move this over. And I'm doing that so that you guys can see that. Now, if you do not want to move it right now, you don't have to. You'll move it in a minute, okay? Either way, you will be moving it in just a minute. The next piece is a 7-inch piece. Now, this ruler is 7 inches wide, so I just have to make sure I'm lining the edge of the ruler up with the edge of the fabric, the cut edge that I just made. I'm also going to use a line on my ruler to line up with my squared off edge at this end to make sure that I have a squared piece, because I do want a clean cut. So, oh, my piece moved as I picked it up. That happens. That happens. So just line it back up before you move the whole stack. And you just want to move it over enough so that you have enough space, okay? You just want to have enough space to do some more cutting. All right, and then this last one is also going to be a 5-inch cut. So it's the same width as this piece. It's the same width of the strip, but it is on the opposite side, okay? And now, instead of moving this piece that's under here, I am going to move that piece right there, okay? So off to the side, I've got my selvage, which we're going to discard. We have my other square up piece right here that we're going to discard. And then this is scrap. You will not need this. And the size of this will vary depending on how wide your pieces are. So mine were like 19 inches, so I have a little bit of extra to spare. If yours are just over 17, you won't have much to spare, okay? So the size of this is going to vary from person to person, but I'm going to leave it on here so you guys can see what you're ending up with at the end. Now I'm going to set this ruler aside because for me, this ruler is too big and bulky to do all of the next cuts. Okay, so I'm going to lay it aside, and then I'm actually going to move to the next side of my cutting table. So I'm going to move back where I'm coming this way again, like I did the first cut, okay? So the same way that I cut, let me get my rotary cutter off the way. The same way that I cut my selvages off is the way we're going to cut the rest of the pieces, okay? So this was step 4, and then this was step 5, okay? Both of these strips were in step 5. So step 6 is where we're at. So there's going to be A, B, and C that we're going to be cutting from this strip set. I apologize about that, guys. We apparently have a skateboarder outside. So I'm very sorry about the dog bark. Very, very sorry about that. All right. So we're going to cut a piece that is 7 inches, a piece that is 9 inches, and a piece that is 4 inches. So the first cut, the 7-inch cut, I am going to use my ruler, and I'm going to make sure that my fabric is lined up here against this line, and I'm going to use my 7-inch line on my ruler, not using anything on my mat, because remember we moved these pieces around a little bit. I want to just use the one on my ruler at this point. So I'm going to cut just that one strip and cut a 7-inch piece. And now we can safely move it a little bit further away, okay? The next piece is going to be 9 inches. So we're going to again line up our fabric against a line on our ruler, and then we're going to use the 9-inch marking. So because my other ruler is only 7 inches wide, it makes doing that cut incredibly challenging because I have to rotate my ruler in a way that doesn't feel natural for me. All right, this last cut is going to be 4 inches long. So our strip is 5 inches wide, so it's 5 inches this way, but we're going 4 inches this way, okay? Oh no! Laura says that her dog heard the bark and is on high alert now. I am so sorry. So sorry. And Giovanna says, don't worry, team, he's protective. He is. He is. He really does not like skateboarders at all. Skateboards just terrify him. This dog can sleep through fireworks. He can sleep through a baseball game. He can sleep through a lot of things, but he will not handle a skateboarder. It's just not in the cards for him. Not in the cards. All right, so this was step 6. So we'll need pieces 1, 2, and 3. And this is extra. So this is scrap that we'll have left over. All right, so this next piece is from step 7. The first cut is going to be 8 inches long. So again, this is longer than my ruler, my other ruler has, because it's only 7 inches wide. So this one's going to be 7 inches tall. Well, 7 inches wide by 8 inches tall, but the direction that I'm cutting it, it looks like 7 inches tall by 8 inches wide. All right, so that's cut 1 out of here for patch 4. This is 7B, where we're going to cut a 5-inch piece. So this is why we are keeping them all in order, because this one is also a 5 by 7, but it's turned the opposite direction. So if I were to pick this up and put it on there, it's the same exact size piece. We don't want that though. We don't want to mix our pieces like that, okay? And then this one is a 7-inch by 7-inch square. And this is why I truly love having a Creative Grids, because it makes it easy for me to see where exactly my fabric needs to go. All right, so we've got pieces 1, 2, and 3 cut. Now we have 4, 5, and 6 cut. And this is also our scrap, so we won't need it. She's fine just watching the door closely. That's good. That's good. Well, he's settled down. He doesn't realize how much heck he caused, I don't think. All right, now this is going to be step 8. We're going to be cutting, this is strip C. So if you follow the directions, this was strip A, this was strip B, and this is strip C. So out of this strip, we're going to cut a piece that's 5 inches by 6 inches. So our strip was 5 inches wide, so we're going to cut a piece 6 inches long. So again, I'm using the ruler lines to line up, and I'm marking up to that 6-inch line. Okay, I'm going to slide that down, and then we are going to cut 8 inches. So this one's going to be 8 inches long. And then we're going to cut another 6-inch one. So with that being said, we've got 2 pieces that if you pick these up and you interchange them by accident, you may end up with more of one piece than the others that you need. So I recommend you keep them in order, because this is piece 7, 8, and 9. But 7 and 9 are the same exact size, okay? Julia says she's not cutting as fast as me. That's okay. That is what replay is for. That is what replay is for. So it is okay. Absolutely okay. So I'm going to go ahead and grab stack 1, and I'm going to move it away. I have more fabric to cut too, by the way. So this is not the last time you're going to see this. It's just the first time you're seeing how to do it. So, and that's what I also offer those Zoom retreats for, is to be able to do stuff like this. So usually my Zoom retreats do follow a live presentation like this, a live freebie presentation, because sometimes I still need to get it done, and sometimes I know that there's people that need help with it. So yeah, there's a lot. Susan says she was ironing a Valentine banner from a 2022 open gate box. That's awesome. That is awesome. So yeah, I do apologize if I am moving fast, but I'm not trying to move so fast that it doesn't make sense, because making sense and being instructions that you can follow again later when you watch it again later are very important to me. All right, so we won't need the selvage, and we won't need this cutoff piece. So for me, those go into my 5-gallon bucket to stuff dog beds for the shelter, okay? All of the rest of this, from this set of fat quarters, These are all big enough pieces that I can use them later. So I am just going to stack them up and fold the strip piece over and set it out of my way. Okay. Okay, I'm having to pause. I'm going to be way behind. If I pop up with questions about parts you've already zoomed, that's okay. That is absolutely okay. That is part of the process. That when you are learning how to do any craft, quilting or otherwise, you're going to have a lot of that. You're going to have a lot of that, and anybody who doesn't respect that you need that extra time, yeah, no. you gotta have the extra time to do it. So that is okay with me. And if you don't already have my email, if you need to have my email to reach out to me, then just drop that exclamation email in the chat, and I will be happy to answer any of your questions off the live, off the Zoom, or off whatever. Whatever we need to do is what we will do. And I will put it out there as well. Coming up on Monday, I do have a Zoom that is for those who are looking to get into YouTube presentations, to be able to do kind of what I do, or any manner of crafting, creating, etc. with YouTube. I do have some processes already set, and I'm going over all of that tech. So if you want to be part of that tech Zoom on Monday, just send me an email. Let me know you want to be part of the tech Zoom. I need all those emails in by tomorrow. Absolutely, Susan. She says we all work at our own pace. We do. We absolutely do. Absolutely do. I mean, if everybody worked at my pace, we'd all be master quilters in no time. But I've been doing this 20 years. And that is very true, Giovanna. She says some people learn faster than others. They do. They absolutely do. I mean, and when you're coming from the experience level that I've got to whatever experience level you are, there's always going to be some kind of disconnect. I was sewing, gosh, oh my gosh, 35 years. I've been sewing for 35 years, guys. And I've been sewing garments and making dresses and pants and suits and wedding gowns and all manner of things. I've been doing that for 35 years. And I've only been quilting for 20, but I came from a lot of sewing background. So some things do come naturally and fast to me, and it does take a little bit to have everybody catch up. So that is fine. But I don't mind teaching. That is not at all a problem. I love to do it. And I love to slow everything down. Hey, Kathy, welcome in. Could you please tell me what sewing machine you use? It seems really quiet. Well, I'm not sewing at the moment, but I am using a Bernina 350 Patchwork Edition. And mine is actually a Ricky Timms edition, which is prior to 2016. But all of my machines that I use usually are Berninas. All right, so I'm cutting 6 by 8, 6, 8, and 6 of the third piece. Oh, does it say something different? Let's see. 6, 8, and 6. No, step 8 is 6, 8, and 6. The first strip I cut 7, 9, and 4. Second stack I cut 8, 5, and 7. And then the last strip I cut 6, 8, and 6. 8, 5, and 7 is for strip 2 in the middle. So strip A that's on the first side will be 7, 9, and 4. Strip B, which will be in the middle, is going to be 8, 5, and 7. And then strip C, which is the strip closest to where I'm standing at the moment, is going to be 6, 8, and 6. Oh, Giovanna says that is her. She hasn't been quilting for very long. Yeah, you did a lot of garment sewing, a lot of crafting. And Giovanna agrees with me. Bernina is the best machine ever. I love my Berninas. I'm really not happy with Beauty right now, but that's a discussion for another day. We're not talking about Beauty today. Beauty is getting beauty rest instead of beautiful quilts done. So we're having a debate at the moment. But that's, that's been my battle with her lately. So it's just been one of those kinds of things. All right, so I'm going to line this next stack up so you guys get to see all of this once again. Let me know if you got clarification, Julia. Let me know. Because if we need to go back, we'll go back. Because I'll be doing it here again in just a minute too. There'll be another stack of them right here in just a minute. All right. So first step is always going to be, how old is, my Beauty is 9 years old, and so is Ricky, thereabouts. Julie says she got overwhelmed. She's taking a minute. Yes, absolutely use it. That's a fantastic point. I want to point that out. Julia just said she's using a scrap piece first to get a feel for what we're cutting. That is absolutely fantastic. Thank you for doing that, because it is, yeah, just go slow on the rewind and press pause every time you need it. Quilting is going to be a lot of numbers. It's going to be a lot of numbers. And as long as you're following patterns, you don't necessarily have to do your good patterns, rather. You don't have to do your own math for anything. But you do, you do have to just be able to follow the numbers. And sometimes that is really hard to do. So I understand. Julie says that, oh, this is only the fourth piece that she's ever made. Congratulations. She started a rag quilt on Thursday that she hasn't finished yet. And that was her third one. This quilt I can already tell is less forgiving. Oh no, it is not going to be less forgiving. I promise. You're just thinking too hard about it. Oh, yes. Raven says cutting gives her anxiety, especially when she uses fat quarters. It can. It can. And that is very legitimate. It is very legitimate that it would give you anxiety, because especially if it's stuff that you care about or you love. I cannot tell you how many times I have struggled to cut fabric because it is a fabric that I absolutely adore. I absolutely adore it. So it is sometimes really tough. Really, really tough. And then if the ruler slips or anything like that, then I know that would be, oh my gosh, so much more anxiety for the ruler slipping. It would just be an absolute mess for me. So I get it. I totally get it. Totally, totally get it. Oh, yeah, exactly. Okay, Julia, she said she's not a dunce, she's just a newbie. And Giovanna came back with, no one said that. You do you, Julia. Exactly. So there is no dunce in quilting. There is no, you know, I'm stupid, or I don't have a brain for this. There is none of that in quilting. That is foreign to quilting. You might bring it over, you might try to bring it over, but I can guarantee you none of my ladies in this chat are ever going to put someone down for not knowing how to do something or taking extra time to do anything. I cannot tell you how many of us have quilts that have sat for years and years and years because we haven't had a chance to finish it because we're so overwhelmed by it ourselves. So no, you are perfectly fine in that. There you go. Laura says, Julia, you can do it. Just remember, measure twice, cut once. And Giovanna says, exactly. Listen to Laura. Exactly. Yeah, it is all about taking your time. The worst quilts you will ever see. The worst quilts that you will ever see. And do I even have them up here? No. I think mine are down in the garage still. Oh, maybe they're not. No. Yeah, I think they are in the garage. My worst quilt. I do have a worst quilt, guys. My worst quilt is one that I call it my worst one because I rushed to get it done. And I still to this day despise the work that I did on it because it was a rush job. So don't ever feel like you have to rush and hurry. Kathy has faith, welcome in. And she says, welcome new quilters. I agree, Kathy, thank you. And yes, Laura says, Julia, we've all been there. Laura says she's been sewing since she was 7 years old and she's still learning every day. Yeah, we all are. We all are. It's a different level of learning as you get one skill. It's a different level of learning for the next skill. But you will find a lot of love here in this community here. There is no shortage of love for everybody else in this community. I really, anytime that I've seen something not loving, appreciative, etc., in my chats, I shut it down. And some of my ladies can attest to seeing me do that because it's not going to happen here. I'm not going to allow it because I want you guys to be enjoying your quilting. Giovanna says purple and purple is hard to see. I know. The next one will not be so hard to see, I promise. It's pretty too, guys. Oh my gosh, this next fabric is gorgeous. Kathy says she used to dread cutting until she started starching her fat quarters, and now they are accurate. She only cuts one at a time. See, and that's the other thing is I said that at the beginning too. If you are not comfortable cutting more than one layer, don't cut more than one layer to start with. Hey, Nina, welcome in. Good to see you today. Happy Valentine's Day, guys. Happy Valentine's Day to all of you. That is amazing to have you all here. Y'all, you guys are so fantastic for being here to support me. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, so what I've cut so far on this trip set. Oh, hey, Wanda, welcome in. There's still snow on the ground. Oh my goodness, I'm jealous. I want the snow. Oh, I want the snow. And we're having a blessed day. We're all hanging out together and we're working on a quilt. What can be better than that, right? We're spending time together and we're working on a quilt. Oh, okay, let's see, where we at? Oh yeah, convert the pattern to yardage, and yeah, you can cut your own vat quarters. I was 6 when I started between sewing, knitting, and crocheting, and love doing it. Yeah, it's, the years do really help you a lot, but sometimes it's just so amazing to learn something new. So I applaud anybody who is picking up quilting and learning it and willing to try something new because you never stop learning. When you stop learning, you stop growing and you stop becoming a better version of yourself. So I always support everybody continuing to learn. All right, so on strip A, according to the directions on step 6, this is strip A, and I know this purple is hard to see, so I apologize. I should have turned my mat over. I didn't think about that. We're going to cut a piece 7 inches long, a piece 9 inches long, and a piece 4 inches long. Hey, Mona, good to see you. How are you doing today? How are you doing? We are working on a fat quarter 9 patch. So we're making it super easy. Super easy. All right, so there's my 7-inch piece. We're going to cut my 9-inch piece next. And then we'll cut the 4-inch piece. All right, so there's my 9. And again, just remember, measure twice, cut once. Just take your time, line your ruler up, and you will be set to go. You will be absolutely set to go. Okay? So I know these pieces are hard to see. I'm going to flip them over after I've cut them so you guys can see them a little bit better. So that's the back side of the fabric. So just bear with me, it's the back side. All right, so that was strip A. This is strip A cut up 7, 9, and 4. So strip B is our 7-inch wide piece. We're going to cut 8, 5, and 7. right, so this is my 8. I'm going to flip it over so you guys can see it. Then we're going to cut my 5. Once I get it lined up. So I do take my extra time to line up, guys. Oh, you're so welcome, Wanda. You're so welcome. The download sheet, I will say, guys, the download sheet does go into next week's portion of this class. So just don't get ahead of yourself, okay? Just don't get ahead of yourself. We got 2 hours today and we got 2 hours next week. And I will pre-record part of next week because we couldn't fit it all into 2 hours next week, but we will get it there by pre-record. Leslie says, I like that you're using the big square ruler to subcut. It looks like it holds the fabric perfectly. It does. So Creative Grids has, I don't know, yeah, you guys can probably tell a little bit. These little circles right here that are kind of grayish a little bit, they're the little grippy circles. So beyond the grippy circles, like this whole area without the grippy circles, it doesn't have any grip to it. But then the outer edge of every Creative Grids has 1/4 of an inch or 1/2 of an inch of grippy area, which is amazing. It really does help. It really does help. All right, now this is our strip C that I'm about to cut now. And that is going to be 6 inches, 8 inches, and 6 inches. So a lot of these patterns that I saw, no seams will line up. However, in this pattern, a few seams will. But it won't be the end of the world. It is going to be absolutely fine because I'm going to walk you through making sure that you've got them lined up. Okay? All right, so that's my 8 inch. And my last one is this 6 inch, and then we're going to pick it up, and then I think I've got just one more round. Oh, I've got quite a few fabrics in that, so we might have 2 more rounds. I don't know yet. We'll see in just a second. We'll see in just a second. Everybody saying hi to everybody. All right, so this is stack 1. And once I bring these back over after I finish cutting everything, I will show you exactly what we're going to do. Exactly what we're going to do. Because it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. So I do have little printed 1 through 9 labels that I'm using on my ironing board, just to keep everything in order. Great question, Regina. She says, hello, what you making? We are working on a fat quarter freebie project, and it is a fat quarter 9 patch. There is a download sheet that you can get. It is in the description box. It's going to take you over to Patreon. You don't have to pay anything. You don't have to sign in or anything. I did have it set up for everyone to be able to access that free of charge. So Patreon has all of my patterns, or most all of my patterns. So it's all over at the download sheet is over at Patreon, but it is available to download as of right now. So you can download that and follow along. We are using fat quarters. We're cutting them up, and then we're going to sew them back together. Like any responsible quilter, we're going to take perfectly good fabric. We're going to cut it apart and we're going to sew it back together. That is exactly what every responsible quilter does. We take that perfectly good fabric, cut it up, and sew it back together. That is why we are called slightly insane. Slightly insane. I'm lining my fat quarters up. I'm holding them up so I can line them up because I'm putting a good stack on this one. And then I'll have one more round of cutting. I thought I had more cut already, but I don't, and I want them all cut. With this project, you do want to have everything cut before you start doing any sewing. And because it was mentioned, we are going to flip over because I do have my Halloween side to my cutting mat. So we're going to use the black side. So there's no chance that you guys can't see the fabrics. All right. Let's see, it's 45 degrees and my dog thinks it's summer with this 80-degree temperature swinging in 2 weeks. I hear you, Raven. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh, yes, Laura, we love you here. We absolutely love you here. You gotta hang out with us. All right, I'm gonna make sure. Yep. So the yellow fat quarter on the top is kind of gold instead of yellow, and it just barely has enough to it to be in this pile of fat quarters. It is very, very close to not being big enough. So you can do this as long as you have 17 by 20 that you'll be able to get out of it once it is cut. Okay. Let's get that one flattened out. And that one's a little discolored. It will still look just fine once it is in the quilts. So I'm not super worried about it. It will be all right. Absolutely all right. All right. Hi, Fern. Welcome in. Good to see you. Oh, he's probably upset by the 3 feet of snow, right? Hi, Judy. Good to see you. Good to see you. I promise I wasn't trying to miss anybody. I wasn't trying at all. And my dog just knocked over my camera, guys. Thankfully, it's not the one you guys can see yet, so he's not making you sick. So I'll have to fix that before I sew. Oh, gotta love my pup. Gotta love him. All right. So I'm using, again, the lines on my ruler to line up so that I can trim off that selvage. All right. So that is cut 1. And because, again, I don't save that for any sewing purposes, it goes into that bottle, or it goes into that bucket to go into dog beds. All right. And now we are going to square up this other edge to line it up. So these are your 2 most important cuts before you do anything else. So cut that selvage off, square that up, and then cut the square on this other side. Okay. So all of this is going into my dog bed filler bucket, and I'll give it to somebody who makes dog beds. Where am I at? Oh, that's awesome. Laura says her husband wrote a beautiful poem and brought tears to her eyes. That is amazing. He's very sweet for that. Susan says she posted pictures of more Valentine's decorations she's made on Facebook. Good. Can't wait to go see them. Can't wait to go see them. All right. So we're going to cut strip A, and that is going to be a 5-inch wide strip. And I plan to have more of this done in advance, but I'm kind of glad I didn't, because it's allowed me to have a little bit more conversation with you guys. All right, so strip A is now cut, so I'm just sliding it up out of my way. Strip B is your 7-inch wide strip. And so that's what we're going to cut right now. And again, I'm going to make sure that on this squared up side down here, because it's the width of my ruler, I always use something else to guide with. I don't like trying to see whether or not I've actually got to the edge of the ruler, or if I'm over or whatever. My eyes play tricks on me. So I always use this edge as well to make sure that I've lined it up and make sure I don't move it, because I just moved it right then when I went to grab my ruler again. I moved it. All right. So there we go. So there's my 7-inch piece. Oh, you guys are so sweet. You're being each other's Valentines. I love it. I love that, guys. I love it. All right, this last piece is also going to be 5 inches. So we've got strip A, strip B, and now we're cutting strip C. And don't ever think you've got to keep up with my pace, okay? I'm not quite Tiffany over at Tiffany's Quilting Life, but I do run through things fast. Yes, I sure can, Giovanna. It is going to be 18 by 21 or 22, depending on the manufacturer and who cut the fat quarters. But it's usually going to be 18 inches wide. So you have a little bit of give room because you need a piece 17 by 20 when it's squared up. That is the bare minimum that you need. No, sir, you're not going back under there. Thank you. Sit. Yeah, he came back over wanting to get back underneath, and I'm not letting him. Exactly, we are, right, Giovanni? She says we are everyone's Valentine's. We are. Today is the day for it. Today is absolutely the day. All right, let me grab this big ruler again. All right, so strip A, we're going to cut 7, 9, and 4. So again, using the lines on my ruler, not the lines on my mat. There's 7. And here's going to be 9. And if you have miscuts in the process of this, there will be ways we can fix them. There will be ways we can fix them. All right, and here's 4. In this very top piece, I do not have a big enough piece, okay? So I will show you guys what we're gonna do to fix that shortly, okay? So I'm gonna pick it up and show you guys exactly what I'm looking at. So this piece did not end up as long as it needs to be. So what I will do is I will go into my stash. I will go into my scraps after this live is over, and I will find something that I can sub in for that, and I will just make sure it is the correct size. Okay, so for me that is a 4-inch by 5-inch piece. So that piece is going to come out. It's not going to go into this quilt. And if I have more pieces like that that don't measure up, then that's what will happen, because that piece was not the size that we needed it to be. All right, now this is strip B, so we're going to cut that 8, 5, and 7. So a 4-inch by 5-inch piece is not hard to find, especially not in my scraps. If I have enough left over from the selvage cutoff or anything other cutoff, I could potentially use that, but I don't think I do for this fat quarter. So that particular piece will not be big enough, and that's okay. Stuff happens, right? Stuff happens. All right, so that first piece was 8 inches on this, so 8 inches, and now 5 inches. And then this last one is a 7-inch by 7-inch square. So I could poverty piece that piece back together from my scrap that I end up with. But I'll show you guys how to do that too. Yeah, that's exactly what I might do, Giovanni. She says if you sew on a piece to it, yeah, I could potentially make it that way. I very much could. All right, this one's going to be 6, 8, and 6. So here is my 6-inch, my first 6-inch. Okay. Here is my 8-inch. And let's see. Here is my 6-inch. And I do have enough, just barely on that first fat quarter. So I just didn't have 20 inches all the way across. That was it. I just was short just a little bit. So we will work around that. Giovanna says she's frugal always. Yeah, Frankenpiece, exactly, Raven. I cannot tell you guys how many times I have Frankenpieced things to get them to be their correct size. In Mr. Siberian Wind's Quilt of Valor, when I did all those 1-inch squares, there were a few that were not big enough, or they were pieced sections of something, and I put them together. Oh, guys, I cut something wrong. I did not measure twice. My piece 4 is not big enough. Oh my goodness. So even I cut wrong, guys. Do not feel bad. We will make this quilt work. I promise. I may have to sub in something for what I cut wrong. I missed it. What is she working on? I am working on a fat quarter freebie project. There is a download sheet in the bottom of, or in the description, in the bottom of the description. And it is 100% free. We are going to do a 9 patch using fat quarters. And it is very beginner friendly. And you'll be able to rewind and replay this video too. You will absolutely be able to do that. So this piece is not big enough on any of these. So we will do something. We will do something. I do have a little bit left over from that stack. And so I might be able to piece it all together. We will figure something out. But I will work through that too. That may be Tuesday nights what I do. So if you guys do not know, I go live Tuesday night at 6 p.m. Mountain Time. So if you want to follow me, and actually, no, yeah, I'm not going to do it tomorrow night. So if you want to watch me Tuesday night, I will fix it Tuesday night. I will come up with how I'm going to fix it, and you guys can follow along with me on that, okay? Because that is absolutely my fault. All right, now these are my last 3 fat quarters, I believe. And so I'm going to line them up together, line up the selvage edges. That's the only edge I'm worried about right now. I'm going to line that down, or lay it down. We're not going to line nothing. We're going to lay it down. Don't you love when I pick apart my own English? Oopsies do happen. It does. It absolutely does. Oopsies do happen, even to experienced quilters. So, you know, there's a lot of times I try to say, well, you know, I always have a fix. Well, I mean, I have lots of options for fixing this. I don't know exactly what I want to do yet, but this will give me some time to think about it. It'll be perfectly fine. We will think about it. And that is why you measure twice and cut once. Absolutely, Giovanna. She's got to call her daughter. She'll be right back. That's perfect. Absolutely keep in touch with family. Family is important, guys. Family is absolutely important. All right. So let me see where I'm going to cut to. I'm going to cut halfway in between that. All right. 2.5. All right. I'm just figuring out where exactly I want to lay this to trim up, because I need to cut pretty deep in to cut off some of this extra that I've got on here. So some of this is close, actually some of this is over an inch wide. So some of this will get saved, because again, I am that crazy person that uses all the way down to 1 inch pieces. As long as you can get a 1 inch piece out of it, I use it. So had to figure out exactly where I needed to cut. All right, so this first cut is again 5 inches, and this is going to give us strip A. Okay. And this second strip is going to be 7 inches wide. And it will give us strip B. Okay. And this last one is going to also be 5 inches wide. So strip C is also 5 inches wide. And we are going to cut that. All right, so this is strip C. All right, so that piece is too small to save, but all the rest of it's big enough. So I'm going to put it off to the save. Hey, Nikki, welcome in. Happy Valentine's Day to you as well. Susan says she would lay the bigger piece on the bottom, not on top. I know. That would probably be how I should do it. Hey, Alex, welcome in. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, I usually do lay the smallest piece on top, or I try to match sizes at least. I just didn't do a good job on that one. Did not do a good job. It's okay. It won't be the end of the world. I will survive it. And everyone else will too. Some way, somehow. All right, so my strip A, I'm going to cut 7, 9, and 4. I'm going to go back to my whole size markings. All right, so there is 7. And so that's piece 1. Piece 9, 9 inches wide. And I wonder if this yellow on the bottom was small too. It might be too small as well. So if it is, that's what I get for using some fat quarters that I didn't measure out of my stash. And yes, it is too small. So I will have to replace that piece as well. So you guys will get to see a lot of replacement stuff. All right, so 8, 5, and 7. Okay. So this one is 8. And this one is going to be 5. And this last one is 7. So there we go. All right. And I think I may have a problem with this yellow on this one too. Yes, I do. All right. So some of my fat quarters were not the right size. So we're just going to make do. I will make bigger pieces. All right. So 6, 8, and 6 is what we're going to do. And I kind of have an idea now how I want to fix them. So I've already been thinking. That's where my quiet was from. I was thinking. Takes a lot of brain power. Been overheating over here. Okay, and then, so 6, 8, and 6. And so the 6-inch piece probably on this yellow will not be big enough, and I am right. It was not. Okay. So, all right, so let me put these over with their respective stacks, and then we're going to do the next part. I'm going to show you how to do it. We're going to go ahead and do 1 or 2, and then I'm going to show you what I'm going to do to fix those other pieces, so you know what to do should you run into that before Tuesday, okay? Because I want you to have the tools that you need. All right. So here we go. All right, so all of those are in place. Let me slide this scrap stuff out of the way. All right, I'm going to bring all of these over. All right, so there is 1. Here is 2. Here is 3. I'm not looking when I'm picking these up and moving them. Here's 4. Here is 5. Here is 6. Here's 7. Here is 8. And here is 9. All right. Phew. We've cut through 25 fat quarters. And if you have all of your fat quarters the correct size, you should have all of these pieces. Okay. If your fat quarters are not the correct size, like mine weren't, you may have a little bit of work to do, but I will show you what we're going to do that later. Okay. Susan says, true, all fat quarters are not the same size. She's purchased fat quarter bundles and had different sizes in the bundle. I know. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. I mean, I cut my own fat quarters sometimes. So the ones from my stash should have been big enough. But if I cut them earlier on in my quilting career, they wouldn't be. So that could be part of it too. That shows you how much I use yellow. I've had them for forever. All right, so you've got all 9 of your squares here. I'm actually going to close off my rotary cutter and set it off the side. I will not need it again, okay? We are to the point where we do not need it again. So my numbers are facing me as I'm now sitting down. So as you're looking at this, it looks like one big block of all the same color. So we're gonna fix that. So block 1, we're gonna leave in its original order. We don't have to do anything to fix it, okay? Block 2, we're gonna take the bottom fabric. Oh, let me put it where you guys can see it. We're gonna take one of the bottom fabrics and we're gonna bring it to the top, okay? All right. Now we're going to, Laura pre-measures her fat quarters. They are also different. They are. They absolutely are. All right, so we got 1 and 2. Now for stack 3, we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to pull a few more fabrics until we're happy with a different fabric. Okay? Because I didn't put these in any specific order. So I'm just going to sort them until they're all different. Until they are all different. Now this stack 4, I'm going to go back to the bottom and I'm going to pull the bottom section up and I'm going to put a yellow back up on top. It doesn't matter. And because I'm just working with 2 colors, I have a lot different of a variety than you might have. You might have more colors. You might have more variety. You might have, you know, any number of things. And I lay them down with the largest on the bottom to square them all the same size. Yeah, see, you know, I could totally have done that. But did I? No. I did not do that. I did not do that. All right. So there's that one. There's number 6. All right, so number 7. Let me pull. And you can do this in some kind of numerical order if that works for you. But I don't feel like it. It's entirely up to you. It's entirely up to you. All right, so there's 7. All right, and then 8. We're going to pull another yellow to the top. Okay, and then block 9. Hey, James, welcome in. You are fine. That is what replay is for. Late is not late to me. I don't care. You are perfectly fine. All right, let me pull that purple. We're going to put that purple on top. Okay. So here's what I've got. Okay. What do you guys think? Susan says she's always made quilts that way. I know. I make quilts that way most of the time. This is just tutorial time. When it comes to tutorials, if it's not pre-recorded, you better believe there is going to be some flub during my live. Because I am horrid at doing lives without some kind of interruption. So there's always an interruption. Alex says she loves the colors. Well, so does my niece. My great niece is graduating high school this year, and yellow and purple are her high school colors. And I asked her what she wanted for her high school graduation quilt, and she said purple and yellow, and I could pick out the rest. Nikki says it's pretty. Thank you. So, here's where it gets to be fun. Here's the sewing part. Let me move things around and make sure I've got things going exactly where they need to be, because the dog did knock over that camera earlier. We're gonna go there first, I think. Yeah, we're gonna go there first. I'm having to think through, guys. Bear with me, I'm sorry. Having to move things around and re-angle things because of the dog. There we go. I think I've got it set. We're going to see in just a minute. All right, because we've got about 30 minutes on today's live. We've got about 30 minutes left, and that's really all the time we need. Because a lot of this is going to be, you're going to have to take the time at home to do the rest of the sewing, okay? Okay. I still have so much stuff in the way, guys. I'm sorry. It is all in the way. Giovanna says it is cool looking. I hope so. I hope so. So what we're going to do first is we're going to sew this top block. Okay. This very top block. Hey, Linda, welcome in. Welcome, welcome. So we're going to sew this top block first. Okay. So we're going to sew 1 to 2 and 2 to 3. Then we're going to sew 4 to 5 and 5 to 6. Then we're going to sew 7 to 8 and 8 to 9. After we do all of that and press our seam allowances, then we're going to sew strip A to strip B, and then strip B to strip C. So I do need to get my iron up and running, so I apologize. It will be louder than you guys are used to because it's right next to the microphone. I have no other place to put my ironing station at the moment, so I am blocked in and I cannot move. My iron has me blocked in. I'm blocked until I am done. Completely blocked in. Okay. Got my 9 to move. All right. So I'm going to grab the top fabric off of stack 1 and the top fabric off of stack 2. Okay. Now, as you see, I didn't rotate everything on these piles because all of my fat quarters were right next door to each other, which means I'm going to have to do this reorganization every time, okay? As long as you keep yourself in order as to which way you're sewing this, that will make things a lot easier. All right, so let me transition you guys over so you guys can see the sewing machine. All right, so I am here, I promise. I'm actually going to grab just the sewing machine so you guys can see exactly what I'm doing. And there we go. All right, so I have mine is a 37 foot because that's what Bernina has. I'm actually going to change it to my 57. And the difference between these 2 feet, I'm going to show you here on the camera. Oh, it's way too dark up there, isn't it? Oh my gosh, it's way too dark. Okay, so we're going to put these in the light then so you guys can see them. That's how bright this light is, guys. All right, so 37 has no guide on the side. Chris Montour says, that's perfect for chain piecing. It is. It is absolutely perfect for chain piecing. It's a great one for chain piecing. All right, and this is foot 57. So I have a guide on the edge of 57. So I'm going to change it out to 57. These feet from Bernina have a perfect 1/4 of an inch. If you do not know where your 1/4 of an inch is on your machine, take your ruler, take your, I don't even have my rulers where I can reach them. There we go. I don't think I can fit this under there though. That's too big of a ruler. I don't have a smaller one. Oh, they're all over reach. Okay. Take your needle and put your needle down. Okay. Put your needle down into your, you'll have your foot on. Okay. But put your needle down into your stitch plate. Put your ruler up against your needle on this side, onto your right side, and see where your needle, see where 1/4 of an inch falls on your stitch plate. If it falls at the edge of your presser foot, then you're good to go. If it doesn't, you either need to see about moving your needle over different positions, because I have a needle over position. So let me put my needle back up. So if I needed to move my needle over, I can move it literally over steps. Okay, I can move it over. I think I've got like 4 or 5 steps or something. Okay, aside from center. So you move your needle over to where it is, where the edge of your foot is at the 1/4 of an inch. That's one way to do it. The other option is when you have your needle down and you see where that 1/4 of an inch is, take a piece of masking tape and lay it on your machine bed, onto your stitch plate, and onto your machine bed that is at a 1/4 of an inch from your needle position. And then you're going to use that tape, that masking tape. I use masking tape. Use that masking tape as your 1/4 of an inch guide. But I have a foot that has that 1/4 of an inch, so that's what I'm going to use. Okay. It is very important to practice your 1/4 of an inch. Once you have done a row of stitching, and I'm going to go ahead and grab grab my pieces and stitch. When you have a guide on your foot, make sure that you're not pushing into that guide. That guide is just to keep you from going too far over, but you don't need to push against it. There's no need for all of that. Okay. Once you have your seam sewn, I cannot believe how dark this camera has gotten, guys. I'm sorry. Once you have your seam sewn, you can take and put your ruler on your seam line and make sure that the edge of your fabric is right at that 1/4 of an inch and not over it. It is important that that fabric is not over that 1/4 of an inch. So always test on your first sewing time after you have done anything. Now, in this project, this seam set, so within strip A, B, and C, it doesn't matter which way your seams go. If you want to press them to one side, press them to one side. If you want to press them open, press them open. If you want to press them to the other side, press them to the other side. It will not matter in strips A, B, and C. Okay? So for this, I am actually going to press to one side. So my seam is pressed towards my yellow, which in this case is actually darker just by a little bit than the other fabric. Does that really matter? No, it does not. All right, so this is piece 1, this is piece 2. I'm gonna grab piece 3 and we're gonna sew it right here. All right, here we go. All right, so always make sure that your piece lines up widthwise, okay? So when you go to grab your new piece, you want to make sure that it doesn't go like that, where you have a lot of pieces hanging over. We didn't cut it like that, so you don't want to do that, okay? You want to line it up where those edges match the whole way. And get off the extra thread, the lint thread. Giovanna says washi tape is good for the 1/4 inch marking as well. It really is. This tape that I have down on my table is actually diagonal seam tape, and I probably need to replace it soon. It's starting to wear out a little bit. It's not coming off yet though, so I usually replace it when it starts peeling, but I think it really does need a little bit of replacement right about now. So this seam set does not matter which direction we press it, same as the other, okay? And I trim, so you guys are seeing me trim with snips versus trimming on the side of my machine. Part of that is habit, that I'm doing that, and part of it is just, that's what works on my lives, okay? When I'm sewing by myself, do I do that? Not necessarily. All right, so this seam, it doesn't matter which way I'm gonna press it. I'm gonna press it towards the purple fabric. If you want to press these open, you are more than welcome to. It is great practice for pressing things open later, but you don't need to. Especially if you're new, pressing to one side may be quite a bit easier for you, and that's what I recommend that you do. All right, so I'm gonna put this on the board behind me so I can show it to you guys here in just a minute. Oh, all right, and I'm gonna go ahead and grab 4 and 5. Here we go, 4 and 5, and I'm going to line them up together. When I use that tape, it always peels up. It never stays for a long time. I know. I had to do a lot of cleaning and scrubbing on my table and my machine because it was not sticking and not staying, and I had a lot of oils and grease apparently on my hand that had transferred to my machine because of how much I sew. So take a little bit, take some of those like alcohol wipes or lens cleaning wipes for your glasses, and wipe it down. Wipe everything down, let it dry, and then you can go from there. Right, and I just broke my thread. I have been having trouble with this spool of thread. So if that happens to you, if your spool of thread breaks the thread, don't worry. It is not the end of the world. It happens to all of us. I trim off all of the extra little pieces and parts, okay? So I just trim off all the extra little pieces and parts, and I go ahead and rethread. This particular spool has been giving me a lot of grief, and I meant to change it out so I wouldn't have that happen today. But I guess it's a good thing that you guys saw that, because it does happen. So anytime your machine makes a weird noise, go ahead and investigate. Don't let it get ahead of you. Don't let it get ahead of you, okay? All right, so I'm gonna go ahead, and I still have some stitching on here, and you can see it pretty well. I like this fabric for that. You can still see that stitching pretty well. I'm gonna stitch over that. So my thread tails, I'll have thread tails. I'll have a little bit of double stitching right there. It will not affect the finished quilt as long as I'm stitching right on top of the line I stitched on earlier, okay? It will not matter. So if you see right here, I forget to look at the camera sometimes, guys. I'm very sorry about that. All right, so I'm going to press, actually I could have gone ahead and chain piece, and I thought about it, but I didn't do it this time. All right, so that was pieces 4 and 5. And so now I need to grab piece 6. And I think I'm not going to try to promote you guys chain piecing, because we do have very new quilters in the mix today. Chain piecing is definitely something I love, and I do on all of my stuff, and I will do for the rest of the quilt, but I'm not going to start it today. Hey, oh no, I said hi to everybody. I thought I saw a new comment, guys. I do check for that. All right, so this is that honeybee fabric on top. It's so cute. It's definitely not my normal color theme, but it is definitely cute. Alright, so again, just trim the extra thread off the edges, and I do that just because I like to. Now, if you are first time sewing, you're not used to quilting, piecing, whatever, you can backstitch. It's not a bad idea for you to backstitch. I don't do it because I've been doing this for 20 years and I don't remember to backstitch. It's not that I shouldn't, it's that I don't remember to do it. I just forget. I absolutely forget. All right, got that piece up there. And I'm scraping the board to slide my pieces over. I should show Julia how to chain piece. All right, well, we will do that on block 2. I will show one more block, and we will do it on block 2. Because I don't have any more pieces I can chain piece on this one block. So, if I can get a hold of my fabric. My fabric is sticking together. All right, so piece 7 and piece 8. Well, we'll do chain piecing on a future lesson, I think is what we're gonna do. I have that honeybee fabric in yellow and also in grays. Oh, the gray sounds beautiful. I am not a huge yellow fan. If you go back and rewatch the beginning of the live, if you didn't happen to catch it, everybody is in shock that I had yellow fabric out and that I'm cutting to use yellow fabric. Giovanna says she always backstitches. It is a habit, and it should be a habit. I recommend backstitching. If it makes you feel better, backstitch. If it makes you feel like it's not going to come apart, do it. I can't remember to do it. It's not a habit for me. It is definitely not a habit. All right, so there's piece 7 and 8. And then let me grab piece 9. And I only have to make 2 adjustments to the next block to be able to sew it together. So the next block is going to be easy to do as well. Susan said just did a bit of guild business. We're having a guest speaker at our July meeting about quilt codes and the Underground Railroad. That's amazing, Susan. Oh, if they're going to can y'all zoom that? Like broadcast it? That would be amazing if you could. Absolutely amazing. The Underground Railroad quilt is a very historic piece. Or all of the Underground Railroad quilts are historic pieces. They have a lot of rich, rich history involved. Oh, thank you, Susie. She says happy Valentine's Day. She's got 63 degrees in Las Vegas at 11:30 in the morning. Oh, you're on Pacific time zone. We're over here in Mountain. It is a fascinating history for the Underground Railroad, Wanda. I agree. I agree. I was actually talking about that project with someone off camera. And so I am going to do an updated Underground Railroad. So I will do an Underground Railroad quilt next year, but it will be an updated version. It's not going to be quite what you might think of, but I am going to do an Underground Railroad quilt. Because they saw my live and they're asking me, well, when are you going to do that project? I will do it. I will do it. Don't worry. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and bring you guys back. All right. So this was strip A. This right here is strip B. Okay. And this right here is strip C. That is just for this first block. Okay. You're going to repeat this process for all 25 of your blocks. So all 25 of your fat quarters, you're just going to rearrange your fabrics color-wise until you're happy with them. Just sort through your stacks until you're happy with your blocks. And then you're going to sew these rows together. So I'm going to take row A, put it on top of row B, and I am going to sew whichever direction I feel more confident sewing with, okay? You're just wanting to make sure that you put the correct sides together, so right sides together. So that's what I have down here. So here's my B's, which was piece, so this is 4, 5, and then 6. This was 1, 2, and 3. So 3 and 6 should be touching right sides together. And you're going to line up this side here with the seams on it. And you are going to sew 1/4 of an inch down that entire side. Okay? You don't have to sew as fast as I do. Sew whatever speed you need to sew, because this is not a race. 25 fat quarters. Yes, Raven, 25. This is going to end up a full size, which is 77 by 92 approximately. So 77 by 92 is going to give you a nice, decent size. If you want to do a test size, a baby size would be 9 by 9. So you'd need 9 fat quarters. And every block would have every fabric in it. So you would just rotate through all of the fabrics and you would sew 9 blocks. For a full-size quilt, though, you need 25. It's going to be 5 blocks wide by 5 blocks tall. So the blocks are going to be taller than they are wide. Okay? All right. So the one thing that I'm going to say that's going to be slightly different is I don't want you to press your seams on your rows. Not immediately. Okay? Not immediately. Okay? So 7, 8, 9 we're going to take and we're going to line 7 up on top of fabric 6. So if you need to mark these fabrics as you pick them up, just go ahead and mark them. Just put little post-it notes, pin little numbers to it. However it works best for you. Just work one block at a time. One block at a time. Okay? All right. I am going to work on this on Tuesday night. I'm just going to have to because we are already, and I've already broken thread again. We are already 15 minutes away from our time allowed for today. So, let's see. I love American history, majored in it. So when my daughter told me about the presentation at the public library, I had to come. Speaker is a descendant of slaves. Oh, that's good. So there's a lot of linkage there to be able to retell that history. And that's what a lot of people can't say, is that they don't have or they don't know that history in their family. So having that history does play into it a lot. It really does. All right. All right, I'm just moving this around, I promise. I'm just moving it around. I'm lining it up as I go. You can pin all of this if you like. You will find that I do not typically use pins. I will use pins when we finish the binding next week, but I do not usually use pins, okay? I do not usually use them. You will find that that is a foreign concept to me, to pin everything. But if you want to pin, be my guest, pin away. Okay, so we've got that sewn. All right, so let me grab this off real quick. Let me reset that. And we are going to turn that off and set you guys up. All right. So this is block 1 that I have done. Okay. Block 1 out of 25. Okay. It is very easy to do one block at a time. And that's what I recommend you do. Okay. Pin free is the best way to be, right, Raven? Pin free is definitely the best way to be. All right. So here's why I'm going to say don't press these seams immediately. Okay. Let me press them, and then I'm going to show you. I'm going to press them the way that I know it's going to go for me, because I'm just going to make it go that way. But I'm not going to press all the other blocks either until I get done. Okay. And this is just so that I can put it up on this board, because I need to be able to put it somewhere, because I got to be able to show you guys exactly what you're looking at. Okay, so what I want you to do, once you get your 25 blocks sewn, just get them sewn. The only seams you're going to be pressing are in the strips, okay? So this was strip A, piece 1, 2, and 3. Strip B, 4, 5, and 6. Strip C, 7, 8, and 9, okay? So this seam and that seam was pressed. Let's see, that seam, these two seams, and these two seams were pressed, okay? Don't press these long seams just yet, okay? And I'm putting this up backwards for a reason. Bear with me. All right. Let me move this. It's in my way. It is in my way. Okay. I'm just making sure I wrote it that way too. So on the sewing process, it says take the top fabrics of patches 1 through 3 and sew right sides together, which is what we did to create row 1, or it's row X now. So this is the back side of row X. This is the back side of row Y, and this is the back side of row Z. So once you complete that and you sew everything together, that's where it says on step 4, don't press the seams between the rows. You've got 24 more blocks to do. So all 25 blocks together, okay? Get all 25 of these sewn together. I want you to then lay them out wherever you have space to lay them out. This could be on your bed. This could be on your floor. It could be on tables at the senior center. It could be any number of places. Wherever it is, that you, in your infinite wisdom, has room to lay them out. Wherever that is, lay out all 25 blocks. Take a picture, step back from it, look at the picture, put it in black and white if you need to, but look at the picture and see if you need to move anything around. Move it around. Move it until you are happy with it. You want to be happy with the entire quilt, and I want you to be happy with it. So don't go ahead and lay everything out without pressing these long seams, okay? Once you have everything laid out, block 1, you're going to press towards the right. Block 2, or the entire top row. So you're going to have 5 blocks across and 5 blocks down. Press block 1, or the top row, press towards the right side. Press these long seams towards this side. On this next row, press that way. Press towards the left side. Oh, it's your right side. I'm sorry. So press towards the left, then press towards the right. Then press towards the left on the next row. Then press towards the right. Each row will be pressed a different direction from the next row down, okay? So on this top row, I've got these seams pressed this way towards the left side. So I'm going to take and sew block 1 to block 2, whatever this block 2 is going to look like. I'm going to sew this one to this one, and I'm going to press the seams going this way. All of the seams that are down here at this bottom are going to be going that way, okay? That is important. You want them all going the same direction, okay? This next row, you're going to go all the opposite way, okay? You're going to just press them the opposite way. Because what's going to happen is when you go to set these together, this seam and this seam will line up with the seams on the next row. So having them pressed this way on one row and that way on the next row means that your seams will do what's called nesting. They will kind of stick together. So I don't have time in the 10 minutes we have left to do that today. I didn't realize that we were going to be running so close on time, but I honestly cannot do over the time today. It is just not an option. So Tuesday night, 6 p.m. Mountain Time is my normal Tuesday edition. I will be here. That is 8 p.m. Eastern and 5 p.m. Pacific. So Tuesday night, we are going to pick this up. I'm going to have all 25 blocks sewn, and I will have at least the top 3 rows pressed. Okay, so that's where we're going to be. Now, as far as if you run short on fabric like I did, send me an email, let me know, and we are going to set up a special session that I can come hang out with you. Maybe before Tuesday. If not before Tuesday, then we will get it sometime during the week. I will absolutely help you guys out. If you are watching this on replay and you didn't catch this until later, go ahead and send me an email. I will absolutely help you out. We are going to figure this out together. I'm not going to teach a project halfway. I'm going to help you through the entire project because I don't start things and not finish them. Okay? I do that in my own life, but I don't do that with you guys. Okay? I am allowed to not finish my own quilts on occasion, but that becomes a UFO. And especially if you're a beginner quilter, new to quilting, just getting started, I want you to feel confident and comfortable with this. And as your teacher, I'm going to be here for you throughout the entire quilt, okay? So what we're doing next week, this entire quilt top is going to be together. All 25 blocks are going to be sewn together, and everything's going to be pressed because you want it pressed. And I'm going to pre-record how I layer and baste the quilt, okay? That is something that I physically do not have the room in this studio space to do. So I have to set up tables in another section of my apartment to be able to layer and baste a quilt like I used to do. But that's the way that you're going to want to layer and baste, especially if you don't have a lot of space like me. So I'm going to show you what you're going to be doing to layer and baste your quilt. And then I'm going to pre-quilt some of it on Ricky. And then we will finish quilting. I'll do at least the last row, maybe 2 rows of quilting on Ricky during the live presentation. And then we're going to square up the quilts, and then we're going to put our binding on. And I will show you also how I cut the binding. That's also going to possibly be in a recorded section as well, because it may take a little bit of time, but I will absolutely show you how to do that. Oh, you're so welcome, Laura and Wanda. Everybody's saying thank you. I appreciate it, Nikki. I try to help you guys. I try to help you on all of this. And you know, with a beginner quilt like this, I feel like there's space and time to be able to do it all. Ricky only has 6 inches from needle to throat space, which is, or 6.5, if that. So that's about the size of most domestic machines that you can get. Let's say you were getting a machine at Walmart, or you're getting a machine, oh, I don't know. I mean, wherever. Oh no, come on, Nightbot. Nightbot didn't like all of Wanda's hearts. I love your hearts, Wanda. Thank you. But a lot of people don't have a large throat space on their machine. And especially a full-size quilt, that seems really daunting. Even for me, to quilt that big of a quilt on Ricky. But I will show you guys how I do it and how I got it done. I do recommend you have extra tables. Now we've got like 6 minutes left, so in that 6 minutes, I'm going to show you some things that you're going to see on the next video, okay? So I have jars of them. These are not the jars they come in. One thing that you're going to probably want to have, if you do not have them already, are curved safety pins. So this is inside of a clip, and I don't have any outside of a clip, so I can't show you those. As I drop it, thankfully I've got plenty more. And I will have Paladin help me in a minute because that was closed. There is a little curve to, there we go, showing against my skin. There's a little curve to the safety pin. Both the back side of the safety pin where my clip thing is and the front side allow you to put the safety pin in, curve it up, and then be able to close it. To close it, I have a tool called the Paula Jean Creations Quick Clip. It's made here in the US. This little metal piece down here has 3 different grooves in it, and the safety pin metal just slides into that groove. So I don't ever damage my fingers trying to pin and unpin my safety pins. The little clips on here as well. I will go back to Amazon and pull the quick clip tool as well as the safety pin covers. And I will link those in the next video for sure. I will try to come back and link them in this video. Give me a few hours because I have something else I have to do immediately after this live. But that's a tool. Those are the 2 tools you're going to see me using for basting, as well as clamps from Harbor Freight. And of course I put my clamps up and they're behind my wall so I can't get to them. I get these giant clips that are hard to close or hard to open with one hand. I usually have to use 2 hands to open them, but they're like $1, $1.50, maybe $2 a piece at Harbor Freight. You will see those in the basting tutorial video as well. Those are kind of my lifeline. They help me. They absolutely help me with that. So just keep that in mind. I will have some tools and some things on the next live, on the next video series that you will not have seen before from me if you haven't been watching me for a while. The other tool that I will be showing you, and these are more popular nowadays than they ever used to be, these are called Wonder Clips. Now they come from the Clover brand, but you can also buy off-brand versions. Sometimes the off-brand versions break really easily. Just keep that in mind. But I am using the little bitty Wonder Clips. Now this one's a blue one. I have them in red, purple, yellow, green, pink. I have them in all kinds of colors. So you guys will see me using these when it comes to doing binding. Susan says she loves her curved safety pins. I know. Laura says Harbor Freight has some great products for quilting. They do. They absolutely do. I love finding a bargain, and they're amazing. So I will try to link out all of these products before next live or next video. The only other thing that you would need, because I am going to use bias binding. I'm not going to use regular binding. I'm going to use bias binding, and I recommend that you use bias binding, and I will explain why when we get to next week's video. Hi, Ms. Joyce. Welcome in. It is your first time here. I'm glad to see you. If Nightbot gets a hold of you, it is because Nightbot only allows a certain number of emojis. So if you get kicked by Nightbot, where Nightbot deletes your messages, just know I can still see them. And I will appreciate every last one of them. It's good. But so I'm going to link some of these projects and products, and I'll make sure that they're linked in the next video, but I will also try to link them for Tuesday night, as well as linking them backwards to today's video, so that you can invest in them if you think they're going to help you. You can wait until you see next week's video and decide if you want to add them. It's whatever you would like. Jackie, thank you so much. She says, thank you. Great teacher. Explained everything. I hope to. There's a lot of times where I do skip over things just because I'm just trying to get things done. I'm not trying to teach it. But when I do these freebie projects or free, oh yeah, you're so welcome, Miss Joyce. Yes, she says she's a new quilter. I'm very interested in my channel. Thank you. There's also a Zoom retreat that is coming up. I will link more about that on Tuesday as well, because we'll have more time on Tuesday, because I really do have to go right after this. But come see me Tuesday night. I will be live actually tomorrow night with Sean from The Guy Who Sews here at 8 p.m. Mountain Time. You can catch us here. And then Tuesday night, I will be live by myself, and we will be continuing to work on this project on Tuesday night. So I'll show you the next steps of sewing those rows together. And then on Saturday, 1 week from today, we'll pick back up at 11 a.m. Mountain Time to do 2 more hours and finish this quilt. So it'll be quilted and ready to go home after it's washed, of course. I always wash my quilts, and I will explain that too. But we will have a retreat coming up at the end of February. So if you need one-on-one help, I will be there during the retreat and can help you, as well as other quilters who will also be in the retreat. With that, it is now 1 p.m., which is time I will turn into a pumpkin if I'm not careful. So thank you guys for watching and hanging out with me. Definitely replay this live. Hit that like, hit that subscribe if you haven't already. I would love to see you in my channel more often, because I do really appreciate every last one of you. And I will be back again, like I said, tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Mountain Time. If you've not petted some fabric today, put some needle and thread to fabric, go do that. This weekend is a long one, and you definitely want the good warm fuzzies, and I will see you guys next time. Until then,